belly, probably giving you the strongest truth. So what else, David?
That's it. I defer to Jean because I think she had a...
I forgot. We've been talking a while. Well, this is another thing about Trump. I just think if, however long he does continue, I think he's going to become very interesting because he's already put the word out. It's like, yeah, I basically say, I did what I needed to do to use the path I needed to take if I wanted to get to this point, like be primed to become an actual nominee. He said, yeah, but come November, if I actually do get the nomination, you're going to see a whole different Trump because then I'm going to be doing what I need to do to have a chance of actually getting elected. So I'm going to be dumping all these people that I used to get to this point.
Politicians, whether they're experienced or not, they know the game is promise everything and then deliver nothing.
Yeah.
Pretty much. And so where this really is going is that no matter who gets elected, even if there's some sort of conundrum that's presented and Obama deems himself imperial president forever or something because of some chaos or confusion, no one's going to be happy. Come middle of November, there's going to be, even if the people who fervently back their candidate wins, they're still going to be very unhappy because no one can deliver. No one will deliver. And you are on the brink of financial ruin. As we speak, gold is being hoarded around the planet. The dollar is being devaluated and dumped. The U.S. bond market, the bonds are being traded at sometimes 40 or 50% of value. The Chinese have come in and stepped on everyone. Even the Queen said she had a meeting with Chinese delegates recently, and unfortunately or fortunately, perhaps the Queen is no fool, you must understand this. On an open mic, you know what that is. It means supposedly the mic's off, but it's really on. On an open mic, the Queen of England declared that the Chinese delegates that came to visit her were very rude. Now, there's one person you are never supposed to step your toes onto. You're not even supposed to touch her. The rigmarole and protocol for the Queen is the same rigmarole and protocol that the Anunnaki require. The Pope used to require this kind of rigmarole, but not this guy. This guy wants to get down and boogie with the masses. But he's not who he says he is either in terms of the Papal Center. Because remember, Vatican is the Anunnaki Center for worship. London is the Anunnaki Center for money. And Washington is the Anunnaki Center for military might. These three groups are united. So for the Queen to say that the Chinese were rude, she wanted that out. And the Chinese they will do anything to create world hegemony, while their people are being poisoned. The pollution in China is extravagant. The Chinese rulership, the Communist Party, which makes up about 5 or 6% of China, they do not care about the people. The people live crowded in small houses. They're all on the streets. They have no place to really live. They have closets, apartments that they share that are sometimes 40 stories, 80 stories off the ground. Or else you live in the country and you are a farmer and there's no toilets. Water is polluted everywhere because of mining, because of certain practices, because of toxic chemicals. So China rising to world power is a delusion because they will step on the heart and soul of every Chinese person. And the Chinese people are very limited in their scope of understanding the world. Remember, many of your Fake sites and devices are not even allowed in China, so they can't not even sort out the info from the disinfo. So there's big problems. Some say that there are forces from the east, and they are called the White Dragons. Perhaps you have heard this term, or you will hear more about it. They are called the White Dragons. And they are wanting to restore balance, at least as the story goes. But again, these Asian white dragons will care nothing for their people. It is all about power. And they are against the Western world hegemony. But these forces, whether they call themselves dragons or not, you are looking at reptilian Anunnaki gods revisiting Earth, using their progeny, their artificial intelligence, their people, to terraform the human genome and to terraform Earth herself. You are being deemed redundant. Do you know what that means? When you are deemed redundant? Layoff, fired, exactly. Unnecessary. Redundant is, sorry, we don't need you. And of course, because the humans have rebuilt the space program for the Anunnaki, or branches of the Anunnaki, once that space program is up and running, once the underground is built, we would say this. Do you really think that a whole bunch of world leaders who are psychotic and crazy are going to get along in exclusive underground hideaways?
No.
Out of sunlight and not being on the surface for years at a time. They are so used to manipulating, they won't know what to do with one another. And who are the slaves that are going to take care of them in this underground world? Most of these people don't know how to sneeze in a tissue. So think about it this way. Could it be that some forces who are known to be disingenuous, that means liars, forces put ideas into the military's head that you had better be really careful and prepare because the whole earth is going to be destroyed. So you get these people to build and build and build and build in preparation not for regular people but only for the elite. And then you give a signal and the elite all go underground. And they leave the sheeple on the surface. And then the elite meet the rulers. And the rulers say, oh, let me take off my mask. You know, I'm a little hungry today.
Lunch.
Lunch, yes. Lunch. In other words, you chuckle. But we have a saying, nothing is exactly as it appears to be. And devious people create being involved in very devious schemes that are more devious than they themselves are. That's why it pays to be good. It pays to be a little innocent. It pays to be a bit naive. It certainly pays to be kind-hearted. The more you want to manipulate others, you attract forces that empower you for a while, and then you are their lunch. And that's a possible scenario that the world leaders are very frightened of, because they are stuck between the old rock and hard place. They don't know who to turn to. They don't know who to trust. As many of you are feeling this. Who to trust? Who to trust? Oh, lots of subjects we covered today. Who has a question?